Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone joining us from around the globe. It's a great privilege to be here on World Sundial Day. I have developed a new Sundial application that I'm very excited to share with you today. My inspiration came from an amateur scientist column from a 1980 issue of the Scientific American magazine, which featured a unique analemmic sundial using a simple vertical post. While such dials have been built since ancient times through patient plotting, the author suggested that enthusiasts could use computer programs to store declination and equation of time values for automated design. He also suggested using a now classic book, Sundials, which conveniently listed the necessary tables. And the author even included 13 lines of code at the core of shadow calculations. Now, as a student of history, you may be very well aware at that time, 45 some odd years ago, the IBM PC had not yet arrived on the scene. Fortunately, as a newly minted electrical engineering graduate working at Hewlett-Packard, I had access to a powerful new desktop engineering workstation and pin plotter. I spent several months perfecting my computer-generated Sundial program, and I still have a cast iron dial that I created back in that era. Now I'm going to switch over to the online dial, which is at sundial.gennetten.org, and give you a quick little demo. Let's see. I think you don't see it yet, do you?
Okay,
have you shared
just one window or whole screen?
I think I just have to stop and restart sharing.
Mm-hmm.
And there we go. I think we got it now. Okay, you can see it now?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so first of all, when you first launch, there's a simple several step instructions for creating your own personal dial. I've localized it into a number of languages. Capital. Here you see on the left are a number of dialogues that give you the basic parameters you need to set up your dial. On this first panel is the print, export, and save. Here you can pick your export format, vector graphics, PNG, or PDF. You can save and load dials, and here you print directly to your local printer or export to a file. Here I can load previously saved dials. For example, here's a dial I saved that shows all of the days, carving days at a marble sculpting symposium that I attend in the mountains of Colorado. The next is the location. I have a small drop down of locations, mainly I use for testing, but then you can also enter latitude or longitude, but the most popular way to enter your location would be just to go straight to the map. So here, for example, I can enter Carrara and jump straight to that particular location. Now on the page settings, you can set popular sizes, including postcard. Postcard sundials are great. Or set up a custom size. This is a horizontal dial, but you can make it a vertical dial or anywhere in between. And one thing I've done is I made it so that you can manually set that inclination to whatever amount you want. Here the X shows where the gnomon is. Ideally, you want the gnomon as close to the grid as possible, but not on it, so that it doesn't obstruct the dial itself. And so I've made it easy to pick values that put it right on the edge. So here it's right down here on the bottom edge or I can put it exactly on the top edge. And of course, if you want a polar dial, I can put it directly on the solstice. On a horizontal dial, I got it set so that you can switch it between north or south facing. Notice I have declination here, but I have it grayed out because that's not quite working to my satisfaction. I was hoping to be able to demonstrate it, but not yet. You can also pick an oval dial or circular if you pick your parameters correctly to adjust the presentation. Next is the gnomon settings. The default is a crosshair. You can have a crosshair with a north point, crosshair with the height of the gnomon. And then these last two are one of the unique contributions of this app, a pop-up gnomon. Here, if you cut on the solid line and fold on the dotted line, you can get a gnomon that directly out of the paper that you printed. And if you want to have bricks, this has a second piece that folds up and locks the first piece in place and conveniently creates a pop-up gnomon, cut and assemble gnomon. The height and position of the gnomon are automatically set so that it gives you a pleasant presentation. But if you want to, you can certainly change those to whatever you want. Whoops. Let me get something reasonable here. So you can move it around as needed. And the position gives you X and Y, which becomes important for declined dials. Next is declaration. I've got a text block up here. You can completely define the contents of that text block, or a season guide, or a compass rose. Then we have date lines. Here are the set of fixed choices, and you can put in your own. I have, for example, today is put in there. It's kind of hard to see because it's right on the solstice. So I'm going to change that to a fat black line. Now you can see it come and go. All of these are user definable. So if I go down to my line styles and I can change that fat black to be red, for example. Now that today is a fat red line. You can put in date ranges. For example, I can type in March 1 to 10, and it puts in all of those dates. And of course, I can pick whatever line style that I want. Now, I have another unique feature here, which is calculated dashed lines. If you look at these date lines first, here I have the first of the month, and it's on a 2-minute dash. That means every 2 minutes there is on the first of the month, 2-minute dot. Every 2 minutes there's a dot, but I can pick that, change that to a 5-minute dot or a 2-minute dash. Notice the dashes at the morning and the evening are much larger. Each dash is 2 minutes, each gap is 2 minutes. Makes it easier to interpolate between the lines. Let's go on to the hour lines. The default here is full year, but if I want it to be half year, it makes it easier to read. And again, you can define all of these the way you want, and you can go in and add additional resolution or more precision. Here are a number of options. You can go to 24-hour time. You can turn on and off the dots on the noon mark. You could separately show just the winter or summer labels, and this automatically picks the summertime, wintertime difference based on your location, but you can turn that off so that it's same top and bottom. Here it shows the 1 hour offset. As with everything else, it's configurable. You can pick your font, size, and how far they are from the dial itself. The line styles are very configurable. You can create a new line style and pick all the different types of lines, including the calculated style. And then finally, here is a map showing all of the prints and exports of the last 30 days. And I think somebody here in our audience exported one today in Philadelphia. So I can zoom in here and see where that was exported from. Finally, at the end is the About dialog, where I have a prominently displayed an advertisement for today's event. Okay, now I need to go back to my slides, and I don't know how to do that other than to stop and restart. Okay, you see that now? Okay. Now I want to show you a few sample dials. This features the unique pop-up gnomon on a half-year dial with 5-minute subdivisions. With easily printed dials showing today's path, I've noticed that I've got a new grounding in the physicality of solar time. And in the words of Evan Boxer Cook, one of our next presenters, I take much more time to notice sundials, N-O-D-U-S. By the way, a pro tip on exporting sundials from any software, it's good to have something that is the exact size of your notice or style height, so that if there's any kind of scaling error on the way from your design to your final output, it will show up and you will notice it. So here, if you pick one of the pop-up sundials and you observe that when it finally gets printed, it's not quite the size that you specified. At least you know what size it should be, and everything's scaled accordingly. The interface lets you pick that specific notice location, which enables some fun and creative dialing. In fact, I now have a collection of curiously pointy figurines for the sole purpose of casting timely shadows. Using a production-ready vector export, I've etched a couple marble serving trays that serve as functional home decor. So the possibilities are quite endless. And while this app is capable, I've never stopped tinkering, and one of the improvements I'm mulling over is a fully functional pop-up greeting card that is customized to the recipient's specific date and location. I'm also working on providing export options for 3D printed dials. The one specific feature I want to mention here is that this dial is, and always will be, 100% free and open source. Thank you. I look forward to spotting your dial on my map of happy users. I'm ready for questions.
Thank you very much, Douglas. I am candidate for receiving a pop-up greeting card when ready.
Yes. Okay. Well, follow my website, and you'll be the first to know. But yeah, I'm quite excited about making a very easy to simply print out and cut greeting card.
Excellent.
On Instagram, there's a plot party where people get together and make plotter art and send it back and forth. And my contribution to this party, a bunch of postcard sundials that I sent out all over the world with this pop-up gnomon. It was a lot of fun.
Excellent. Excellent. Any questions?